She thought her past was gone, but it came back to haunt her. When Linda's ex-husband returns after years of silence, the peace she built with Quang begins to shatter. Determined to end the fear once and for all, Linda faces the man who once broke her in a battle between love, pain, and courage. But when danger strikes, Quang arrives, and together they fight not just for safety, but for freedom. Don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories of love, strength, and redemption.
The afternoon sun spread a golden hue across the wide fields, brushing over the soft strands of Linda's hair as the wind danced around her. The Nung Trai behind her was peaceful. Rows of green vegetables, the faint cluck of hens, the gentle rhythm of life she had built with her own hands. Yet, inside her chest, an unease refused to fade. It had been weeks since she last saw that familiar shadow at the edge of the forest, but the feeling of being watched still lingered like a whisper she couldn't silence. That night, Linda couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the wooden ceiling, listening to the soft ticking of the old clock. Every sound in the dark seemed louder: the rustle of leaves, the creak of the gate, even her own breath trembling against the silence. Memories she thought were buried long ago came back vividly. The nights she cried in fear, the days she lived with bruises hidden under long sleeves, and the quiet voice inside her that once begged for escape. But now, she was different. She had rebuilt herself from the ashes of her pain. She had a home, a future, and someone who truly loved her. Still, the past had not let go. The mere thought of David, her ex-husband, made her heart tighten, not from love, but from unfinished fear. She knew she couldn't keep running. If she wanted peace, she had to face him, look him in the eyes, and end what had been haunting her for years. As dawn broke, Linda stood in front of the mirror. The woman reflected back at her no longer looked fragile. Her eyes were steady, her face calm but resolute. She tied her hair into a neat ponytail, grabbed her denim jacket, and stepped outside. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of morning dew and soil. Somewhere in the distance, the rooster crowed, a sign of a new beginning. She got into her old pickup truck and started the engine. The familiar road wound through golden fields, past the river and into the shadowed woods. With each mile, her heartbeat grew louder, but so did her courage. The cabin appeared at last, a small, abandoned wooden house tucked behind a wall of pine trees. Once it had been a home filled with dreams. Now it stood like a ghost from another life. Linda parked the truck and stepped out. The silence around her was heavy, almost sacred. Her hand trembled slightly as she touched the old wooden door, but she didn't back away. For the first time in years, she whispered to herself, not as a victim, but as a woman who had survived. "It's time," she said softly, her voice steady in the cool morning air. The wind stirred the trees as if the world itself was holding its breath. And with that, Linda pushed the door open and stepped inside, to face the past that had once broken her, but would never again define her.
The air inside the cabin was stale, heavy with the scent of dust and forgotten years. Shafts of sunlight filtered through the broken blinds, cutting across the dim room like silent blades. Linda stepped forward carefully, her footsteps echoing on the wooden floor. Every corner of that cabin,
was a fragment of a life she no longer wanted to remember. The cracked photo frame on the shelf, the faded curtains she had once sewn with trembling hands, the ghost of laughter that used to fill these walls before it all turned into fear. A sound came from the back room, the faint creak of a floorboard. Her pulse quickened. Then, from the shadows, David appeared. His face was thinner, eyes darker, as if life itself had drained color from him. He stood still for a moment, staring at her with disbelief. Then a crooked smile twisted across his lips. "So you finally came back," he said, his voice low and rough. "I knew you couldn't forget me." Linda took a slow breath, forcing herself to meet his gaze. "I didn't come back for you, David. I came to end this." He laughed, a sound that made her spine shiver. "End this? You think you can just walk away after what we had? After what you did to me?" "I did nothing to you," she replied, her tone calm but firm. "You destroyed yourself, David. You destroyed us." His eyes flared. He took a step closer, anger flickering in every line of his face. "Don't lie to me. You always thought you were better, didn't you? That I wasn't enough for you. You ran off to your little farm, your new man, your perfect life, while I was left with nothing." Linda swallowed the lump in her throat, her fingers trembling slightly at her sides. "You lost me the moment you raised your hand against me," she said softly. "Love doesn't live where there's fear." For a brief instant, his expression wavered, something like pain flashing through the madness, but then it vanished, replaced by rage. He lunged forward, grabbing her arm, his grip cruel and desperate. "You're not leaving this time," he hissed. Linda struggled, pushing against him, her voice breaking but still defiant. "Let go of me, David. You can't control me anymore." He tightened his hold, his breath hot against her ear. "You think he'll save you? That new man of yours? He can't protect you from me." And then, just as panic threatened to rise, something inside her changed. The fear that had once paralyzed her turned to fire. With all her strength, she shoved him back, eyes blazing. "I'm not afraid of you anymore." David stumbled, stunned by the force of her voice. For the first time, she saw uncertainty in his eyes. The same man who once terrified her now looked small, broken, and lost. Linda took a step back, chest heaving, tears burning in her eyes. But they were no longer tears of weakness. They were tears of release. The years of silence, of hiding, of pain, all of it had led to this moment. Outside, the wind howled through the pines, as if the forest itself bore witness to her courage. And though danger still lingered in the air, Linda knew one thing with absolute clarity. She had taken back her power. Outside, the wind grew louder, carrying with it the scent of pine and distant rain. Linda's heart pounded as she stood facing David, her chest rising and falling with every sharp breath. His anger flickered like a dying flame, desperate, unpredictable, and fading fast. For a long moment, neither spoke. Only the echo of their breathing filled the room, mingling with the creak of the old cabin. Then, the rumble of an engine broke the silence. Tires crunched against gravel outside. David's head snapped toward the window just as the door burst open. "Linda!" It was Quang, his voice cut through the tension like lightning splitting the dark sky. He stepped inside, eyes burning with worry and fury. In 2 strides, he was beside Linda, instinctively pulling her behind him. The sight of David standing there, hand clenched, face wild, only fueled his anger. "You've done enough," Quang said through gritted teeth. "If you ever cared for her, you'll stop this now." David sneered, his voice trembling. "You don't understand. She was mine." "No," Linda interrupted, stepping out from behind Quang. Her voice was steady, calm, almost serene. Love isn't possession, David. What we had died long ago. Her words struck something deep within him. For the first time, David's fury wavered, his eyes darting between her and Quang. Confusion, sorrow, and exhaustion battling across his face. His body seemed to deflate, the fight draining from him. Slowly, his hands fell to his sides. Quang reached for his phone, calling the police, while keeping his eyes on David. Within minutes, sirens echoed faintly through the forest. David didn't resist when the officers arrived. He just looked at Linda one last time, a hollow look, filled with regret rather than hate, before being led away into the rain-soaked morning. As the police car disappeared down the muddy road, silence fell once more. The wind had softened and the rain had turned to a gentle drizzle, tapping softly against the cabin's roof. Linda stood still, watching the empty road until she felt Quang's arm wrapped gently around her shoulders. "It's over," he whispered. For the first time in years, Linda believed those words. Her body trembled, not from fear, but from relief. She turned to Quang and buried her face in his chest, tears streaming freely. Tears of release, of survival, of rebirth. He held her close, whispering, "You're safe now. You're home." When they finally stepped outside, the clouds began to part. A shaft of sunlight broke through, scattering across the wet earth, painting the pine trees in gold. Linda looked up at the sky, breathing in deeply, the scent of rain, freedom, and a new beginning. Behind her, the cabin stood silent, its shadows swallowed by light. The past was no longer chasing her. It was behind her, sealed by courage and truth. Hand in hand, Linda and Quang walked down the forest path toward the open fields where the sun awaited them, warm, bright, and full of promise.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn. Mình nhìn tự Ninja review rất vui vì ngày hôm nay lại được gặp lại các bạn trong tập phim ngày hôm nay. Trong tập phim ngày hôm nay của chúng ta thì Quang và Ninja đã không còn sợ tên thường của Ninja nữa. Ninja đã quyết định sẽ đối đầu với hắn ta. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn sẽ còn được kể ở các video tiếp theo. Các bạn nếu thấy hay hấp dẫn hãy bấm vào nút subscribe để đăng ký kênh sẽ nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các tập phim sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh nha. Nếu các bạn thấy video hay hấp dẫn hãy bấm nút like, share và để lại comment ở dưới video nhé. Đặc biệt đừng quên bấm vào nút subscribe để đăng ký kênh sẽ nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các tập phim sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.